It's not jeepneys anymore, but motorcycles rule the Philippine roads. In a data gathered by the National Statistical Coordination Board in 2011, 3.2 million motorcycles and scooters roam around the cities of Metro Manila and other parts of the country. Due to its mobility and relatively cheaper price from 2005 onwards, motorcycles, scooters, and tricycles overtook the number of utility vehicles, and by 2012, the industry saw the growth of motorcycle sales. But with a motorcycle's capability to weave in and out and squeeze between buses and cars comes its greatest peril, at times as victims and sometimes as perpetrators. Recently, the rise in the number of so-called motorcycle riding in tandem syndicates forced the Manila city government to eye the ban of motorcycle quote-unquote back riders. The filed city ordinance proposes a 3,000 peso fine and or 30 days imprisonment for the violator. The Mandatory Helmet Act signed in 2010 also failed to curb the rising number of motorcycle accidents. In addition, civil groups require all motorcycle riders to mark their vests with their plate numbers. However, the opposing groups of motorcycle riders disagree to this, saying it's impractical and as if generalizing the entire motoring public as criminals.
Welcome to Opposing Views, a hard, straightforward discussion of today's most pressing issues. Some acquire motorcycles for leisure purposes, but the majority of Filipinos own a motorcycle due to its practicality in terms of cost. But with those more stringent policies being proposed, is this the end of the so-called new king of the road? Our question, should the government implement stricter motorcycle policies in the Philippines? Good evening, I'm Rod Nepomuceno, and this is Opposing Views. All right, joining us tonight in our discussion is Mr. Martin Dino, Chairman of the VACC, or Volunteers Against Crime and Corruption. Good evening, Martin.
Good evening, Rod.
Yeah, our second time that that I see you.
Yes.
You were my guest in legal help desk a couple of weeks ago. Quick question, or your quick thoughts regarding this issue about more stringent policies against motorcycles.
Siyempre, bago yung ating pamahalaan sa pagdami nitong mga sasakyan, lalo ng motorsiklo, na kung saan gumagawa tayo ng mga batas na naaayon sa panahon. Kaya nandyan ang ating mga senador at congressman, ang ating mga city councilor. Ngayon nakita natin ang paglalaan nitong riding in tandem. Kaya meron tayong mga gagawin para naman may paraan para masugpo, mabawasan, maiwasan itong nangyayari sa ating fenomeno na ngayon na halos araw-araw merong namamatay, may pinapatay ang riding in tandem. Just this afternoon, just this morning, meron na naman na namatay. And tomorrow, meron na namang papatayin itong riding in tandem.
All right. Now, on the opposing side, the chairman of the Motorcycle Rights Organization, Mr. Jobert Bolaños. Jobert, good evening.
Good evening, Rod.
All right. Your quick thoughts on this matter.
We agree on being strict, but not in being strict with the new laws being proposed.
Okay.
Actually, looking at the existing laws, the existing laws just needs to be implemented or enforced more, because why create new ones when we cannot even implement or enforce the existing ones properly? Marami tayong problema sa criminality, okay? But for us riders who is actually part of the public, we're victims too. So why pass the burden to the innocent public for the fault of a few people? Right. So that's where we are right now.
All right. Okay, so we'll start off the discussion, and I'll start off with you, Jobert. Do you think, first off, are the proposed legislation, the proposed laws, I'm sure you've gone through them. Do you think that these laws are anti-poor, to implement these stricter regulations on motorcycles? You think they're anti-poor?
Basically, the reason why we go to motorcycles is because it's cheaper. No? If you compare it to taking public transport on a daily basis, mas mura yung magmumotorsiklo ka nala imbis na mag-jeep ka or magbabas ka. So it's because of our economic status, we turn to motorcycles. It's easier, it's faster, and it's cheaper.
Right.
Okay, but to add to the daily cost of one rider, for example, kasi nandyan yung helmet, we have to change our helmets again. We have to put plates on our vests, so those who are not used to wearing vests, they have to buy a vest, plus put the number at the back, and other policies that are being pushed down our throats. But, is it the root cause? Do we strike on the end user before we strike on the root cause of the problem? Yeah. So we have questions as well.
Do you believe though that it is anti-poor?
It is.
Yeah. So okay. Chairman, anong niya?
Tingin ko naman, tignan natin yung mga pinapatay ngayon, ano? Karamihan ng namamatay, tricycle driver, babae, matanda, no? Sa squatters area, paano naman naging anti-poor kung halimbawa masusugpo natin itong pagpatay at saka yung sinasabi nating warden, ano ba naman kung halimbawa, sabi ko nga, bago ang dating ng mga motorsiklo sa bansang Pilipinas. Siguro ilang taon lang to na talagang lumago na kasindami ng bisikleta sa China. So gumagawa tayo ng mga policy, gumagawa tayo ng mga batas, kamukha niyan. Ang MMDA naglagay ng motorcycle lane. Madaming eksperimento. Kaya lang, dito nga sa phenomena ng riding in tandem, kailangan gumawa tayo at magsakripisyo. Alam mo, marami tayong mga grupo na nandyan sa motorcycle na talagang ang laki ng natutulong nila when it comes to peace and order. Nagiging force multiplier sila ng ating mga pulis.
Yes.
Bumibili sila ng mga uniforme na mahal para lang makatulong sila sa peace and order. Ano ba naman itong konting sakripisyo na kung saan ma-identify natin ngayon kung sino ang tunay na may-ari. Kasi grabe ang nakawan ng motorsiklo. At ang hinahabol ng BACC dito, una, hindi pang riding in tandem lang to. Yung security ng mga nagmumotor sa gabi. Tignan nyo yung mga nagmumotor kung ilan ang naka-reflectorized vest. Ilan ang mga kaya hinigpitan ng helmet dahil nakita natin na every time na magkakaroon ng aksidente, yung helmet biyak, pati ulo biyak. Ibig sabihin, mahina ang kalidad. Kaya ngayon, nilagyan ng sticker yan para makakuha ng mga kalidad ng mga gagamitin ng ating mga magmumotor.
Regulated yung quality.
Regulated ang quality. At the same time, ngayon, makikita na natin, nakikita naman nyo, yung mga bata, isinasakay sa motorsiklo. Minsan, isang buong pamilya sila. Kami nga, hindi kami sumang-ayon dun sa proposal ng Maynila na kung saan bawal na mag-angkas. Talagang sabi nga, talagang magagamit ito ng mga mahihirap sa transpo. Kaya ang BACC, yung back rider, siya magsusuot ng vest. Para at least nandun pa rin. Sabi ko nga dun sa mga ibang riding group, pakiusap natin na basta't yung inyong mga jacket, merong plate number nung sinasakyan mong motor. Ngayon, kung mayaman ka, 8 motor mo, di bawat isang merong corresponding yung suot mo dun sa plate number mo. At saka ito, mamomonitor natin itong mga pulis. Naka-plaka vest nga, iba naman yung daladalang motorsiklo. Kaya dito, ang proposal din natin, uunahin nating linisin ang kampo ng mga pulis, kampo ng sundalo. Kasi unang-una, ito yung mga gumagamit ng motor nang hindi rehistrado.
Okay.
At matutulungan natin dito ang LTO na kung saan pati itong mga tindahan ng motorsiklo na bigay ng motorsiklo nang walang plate number at ang LTO, mapipilitan kayo na nagbabayad kami sa rehistro pero hindi nyo binibigay yung plaka. Aba, binayaran na namin yan. Makakaisang taon na naman kayo. Sa inyo din na lang ngayon yung ibinayad namin. na pam-sticker at saka pamplaka.
Sorry to cut in, no? Ito ba, and then I'll throw the question to you, Jobert. This issue ba, no? Lalo na ngayon, may a lot of crimes na being committed yung sa tandem nga, no? Sa angkas. Is it a problem of motorcycles per se or police enforcement?
Police enforcement.
Okay.
Hindi kasalanan ng mga
Motorcycle rider.
nagmumotor. Hindi nila kasalanan yan. Kasalanan ng implementasyon ng batas. Nalulungkot nga tayo. Meron tayo, actually sabihin ko, yung solusyon dito, andyan na. Hindi lang tinatap ng DILG.
Alright. So, pero ang feeling mo, Jobert, you're the ones being punished. You're the ones being burdened.
Babalikan ko yung sinabi ni Martin, ano? In fact, yung tanong on our side, nasagot na rin niya eh. Nasagot niya na rin dahil we have existing laws that answer to the problem of yun nga, yung registration, the problem of discipline on the roads, the problem of yun nga, yung paglaghanap ng mga crime sa kalsada. We have existing laws na answer all of these problems. Okay. Yung stricter na pag-release ng lisensya. Okay? Is it being done? No. Stricter enforcement of the laws on street level, checkpoints, for example. Kapag na-checkpoint ka, titignan yung lisensya mo, titignan yung ORCR mo. Do they check if the ORCR matches the engine number or the chassis number? They don't. In fact, just yesterday, na-checkpoint kami. I chose not to remove my helmet. Full face ito. He looked at my license. I was waiting for the policeman to tell me to remove my helmet para ma-match niya ako doon sa picture ng lisensya. Did he do that? No. He just looked at my license, he looked at the ORCR, and then let me go. So, meron tayong certain protocols na ginagawa na hindi na napapatupad ng maayos. So, it's the proper implementation of the laws, stricter implementation of the existing laws. Yun yung kailangan natin i-push ng i-push. So, are we exhausting all avenues, all means, all efforts? I would say no.
You don't think so. Now, all right. Yes.
Kaya nga, precisely, ngayon, yung mga riding groups, no? Ayan na. Talagang ngayon, dati wala lang, motor lang sila. Pero ngayon, tinitignan na nila ang implementation ng ating kapulisan. Dahil nga nung ini-implement natin itong meron ng plaka bes. Ngayon, yung mga grupo na to, alam mo ba na kinukunan na nila ngayon ang mga pulis na nagdadrive sa karsada na iba yung uniform at walang mga plate number? Ganyan. Naging kaaktibo ang ating mga riding group. Naging vigilant.
Okay.
No? At saka, ito lang, naging vigilant na rin kayo. Di konting-konti na lang. Kasi unang-una, nagka-problema talaga tayo sa kapulisan natin ngayon. Yung mga checkpoint, hindi yan ang sagot. Pero ang sagot, kamukha nung pinatay kanina sa Rizal. Kung na-implement natin ngayon ang plaka bes, papunta pa lang siya, kung wala siyang bes, masisita na siya. Kung naka-bes siya, makikita na ng mga tao, hindi na natin hintayin ng pulis.
Let's go to that, no?
Andiyan ang tao.
Let's go to that, Cap, no? Should we be strict, in other words, in getting a motorcycle? Kanya, bibili ka ng motorcycle, requirement na dapat bibili na ng vest.
Oo. Yung
yeah.
kumpanya ng motor ang magpo-provide.
Correct. So kailangan ganon. Your proposal is ganon. So you think that that's the idea that you have in terms of being stricter in acquiring motorcycles?
Not at all, Rod. Kasi ganito yan,
okay, so you don't agree with the position of
not at all kasi ang criminal, this is how they think.
All right.
If I am going to do a crime, I will not use something that will identify me. Bakit ako gagamit ng sarili kong motor na yung plaka ma-identify kung sino ako?
Pero point niya, kasi kung wala kang, you can't even ride kasi wala kang vest. So that prevents the crime.
Well, if you prevent somebody to ride just because he chose not to follow or to go with the proposed plaka vest, that's regulating apparel. When you regulate apparel, that's overstepping boundaries na on terms of your rights as a person.
Kamukha nun, sa Marikina siya. Pwedeng wag ka magsuot ng vest sa Marikina, pero pagpasok mo ng Quezon City, checkin ka namin.
I would rather.
Kaya tayo, binanggit ko na sa'yo.
Okay.
Kaya tayo, merong mga senador, may congressman, meron tayong mga city councilor. Kailangan gumawa tayo ng batas na naaayon sa panahon. Hindi naman to forever. Tandaan mo, noon, meron death penalty.
Okay, Cap,
Di ba?
Cap
However-
Jobert, I'm sorry, I have to take a short break, but I will give you an opportunity to do a rejoinder, no, to the position of Cap. We'll take a short break. Meanwhile, join the discussions online. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/SolarOpposingViews. Follow us also on Twitter at opposing_views. Use the hashtag OVMotorLaw. We'll be right back. Please don't go away. Welcome back. You're still watching Opposing Views. We have with us Martin Dino and Jobert Bolaños, and our debate question for tonight: should the government implement stricter motorcycle policies in the Philippines? Right before the break, Martin made a point that definitely a vest with big numbers, with big numbers, should be a requirement in riding a motorcycle or even owning a motorcycle. And Jobert, you took issue. Let's take it from there. You think that this is going way beyond, and it's too burdensome for the motorcycle riders.
They're
Can you
hitting on the
expound
end user, okay? But have we hit on the root cause, okay? Root cause is we see very little policemen on the streets nowadays, okay? Nawawala yung police visibility. We would rather have more checkpoints on the streets that does the checkpoints properly by looking at chassis numbers, engine numbers, verifying properly, you know? We would rather have that because nakikita mo sa kalsada yung kapulisan eh.
But do you agree though that you'll be more easily identified with that?
No.
I know it's a hassle maybe in terms of
Not really a hassle.
fashion
Eh. Kasi it's a safety device. Okay?
Right.
But to use it as something else, the question is it effective? Like I said kanina, as a criminal, I will not use any identifying tags that will associate me with what I'm using, like yung sa motorcycle. Bakit ko i-risk yung identity ko? So, most of the criminals, I would say, most of the criminals that use motorcycles, they don't use motorcycles na identify them.
Kaya nga,
They use something else.
So you're requiring a bigger
Kaya nga, halimbawang itong meron kang motor, pagkatapos hindi sa'yo, asan ang best mo? Papagawa ka ng best. Papunta ka pa lang dun sa victim mo, nakikita ka na ng mga tao, hindi na natin kailangan ng polis.
Parang
Kumbaga
stop na.
Kaya nga
Wala
ito,
kang ano.
mapipilitan
Wala kang
ng ating
identification.
mga pulis. Alam mo, ang idea ng BACC, barangay level pa lang, paglabas mo sa bahay mo, may checkpoint na ang barangay. Identify na natin kung sino yung mga ano. So, at saka kami, hindi lang tayo hihinto sa best. Dahil ang hinihingi namin ngayon, lahat ng kriminal sa barangay, kunin ng mga barangay captain at ibigay sa kanilang station commander sa utos ng ating DILG.
So what's the purpose of our license and ORCR?
And the plate
Kaya
number.
nandyan yung ORCR, yung license natin, yung plaka ng sasakyan natin, binibigyan natin ng dahilan na umiksi, maging tamad, yung mga nagche-checkpoint. Pero before, nung kabataan namin, pagka dumadaan kami sa checkpoint, vini-verify lahat yan eh. Identity mo, match ba yung lisensya mo doon sa nagmamaneho, match ba yung ORCR mo sa plaka mo, sa motorsiklo. Is it being done? No. So, creating new laws, we enable the policemen to gain more convenience dun sa trabaho nila.
I think it's brought about by the fact na sa CCTV hindi nakikita yung plate.
Baligtad eh. Alam mo, ngayon nga, kung sino man yung merong mga problema sa ano, ngayon, matatakot na sila dahil siyempre, kailangan mag-match yung ano mo. At ang mga pulis natin, mapapadali. At saka, ito, unang-una nga, sinabi ko sa iyo, para dito sa safety ng mga motorcycle rider na meron kang reflectorized. So gusto mo, punta tayo ngayon sa karsada, tignan natin kung ilan na naka-reflectorized vest na umaandar na motor, na kung saan talaga nadidisgrasya sila to the point na mamatay sila. At yun sinasabi ko nga sa inyo na ang batas hindi permanente. Nagbabago ito. Pero dahil sa init ng panahon, init ng pagpatay kanina sa Rizal, pinatay na naman isa sa Quezon City, at bukas may papatayin na naman. Itong mga ito, yun bang konting sakripisyo na buhay ng tao ang pinag-uusapan nito?
So
buhay
why
ng
does
tao
the
na
end
makatulong
user
tayo.
have to take that sacrifice and not our policemen na hindi na nga natin
Ang feeling
halos
mo dapat
nakikita
is the
sa
policeman,
kalsada.
or should we work on?
Yun na nga
There should
aasa
be-
tayo sa police.
Oh, sige, okay, okay, we
bakit
have to-
hindi tayo gumalaw ngayon?
Okay, there are a number of issues no, regarding this topic, so we'll leave it at that. You made your point, and I think Martin, you made your point. Let's go to the proposed restrictions, no? The new rules that are being proposed. Let's go item by item. The first item is yung no second passenger. Ikaw ba?
Hindi.
So you're
Sama ako sa kanila na
Okay.
kailangan may
CHR
second
na
passenger.
nagsalita.
Tapos, kaya lang yung second passenger
kailangan may vest. Okay.
ang magsusuot ng ano.
All right. Sige. Now, the second restriction is requiring all motorcycle riders to wear white helmets with
Hindi na.
compulsory registration of helmets with barangay local.
Hindi na.
you don't feel ano?
Masyadong ano na yun na
Okay.
may vest ka na, kita na yun.
Okay. So, sa inyo,
Okay na
vest
yun,
talaga.
okay
Wala
na
na,
yun.
wala na yung helmet. All right. Ito, yung third one, yung wearing of vest. Dito tayo nagkakatalo. Okay? Kasi feeling ni Martin is the vest. And allow me
I'll
to
give
play
you a
devil's
scenario.
advocate here.
I'll
Because
give you a scenario
I think in
on
the
the vest.
CCTV that we said earlier, if they were wearing a vest and the letters were clearly seen in the CCTV, then they're easily identifiable.
The question is,
Yeah.
yung na-identify mo doon sa CCTV,
Siya ba yun?
yung plaka na yun, naka-associate ba yun doon mismo sa tao na yun o naka-associate ba yun sa ibang tao? I'll give you a scenario.
Okay.
I'm a criminal. I want to perpetrate a crime. I will not use my own motorcycle. I'll use a motorcycle from elsewhere.
Alright.
I've stolen.
Okay.
Madaling gayahin ng plaka, madaling gumawa ng vest.
Vest. Good point.
I'll use that. After I do my crime, I simply switch to a different motorcycle and then remove the first number on my back. Then I'm invisible.
That's a valid point. Martin,
Tama, ang galing.
anong thoughts mo?
Tama
Yeah, that's a
yun.
good point. That's a valid point. Yeah.
Ninakaw. So
Yeah.
ngayon, yung vest mo, naka-alarma na. Pag ninakawan ka ng motor, di ba, pupunta ka agad sa pulis, sasabihin mo, eto yung motor ko, eto yung plate number ko. Ibig sabihin, nung sinasabi mo, naka-alarma agad.
As easy
Di ba?
as copying a plate number
Kaya nga.
is also madaling palitan. In the course of the crime,
Yeah.
you can always, 'di ba, meron nga dyan crime na you change
Yeah.
getaway vehicles.
Right.
It's as easy as that. After I remove the first number, then I'm invisible. Kasi ang hinahanap nila yung gumawa ng crime with the first number at the back.
Okay. Ang point ni Jobert is yun nga, pwede mong, you can change the number and you
can
can change the
use
vest
the
any
law.
which
Pwede,
way.
kasi ano
Or even fake vest.
Sabi ko nga, pwede kang pumunta, bumili ka ng isang katutak na bes eh.
Correct, yeah.
Di ba?
Yeah. So, ano
criminal ka, di madami kang bes.
Oh, ano yung
Dapat
count-
madami ka din plate number.
Oh, so
Di ba?
how do we then
Oh.
defend your position that the vest will
Kaya
solve
nga,
it?
precisely, pagka nasita ka na yan, nakaw. Kasi siyempre, pag ninakawan ka, papa-alarma mo agad yan eh.
Hindi na ako. Let's say I reproduced vests.
Kaya nga, yung motor mo. Oh.
Dapat nag-match.
Di ba?
Dapat
O tapos,
nag-match.
hindi ba, alam naman natin, pagtalahib ang plate number mo. Ang gagaling
How
ng
do we
pulis
find
yan.
out if that's the
Kung
case?
nagmamatch.
Checkpoint. Di ba?
That's
More
it.
checkpoints. You don't need the vest. All you need is the license and the registration. Bakit pa natin gagawa ng bago na nandyan na yung lisensya, nandyan na yung ORCR? We're making these documents
Right.
useless.
All right. So, okay. I think with the vest issue, we've talked about it for more than 10 minutes, so I think we'll let that lie. Okay. How about the restriction on the speed limit? There's a proposal that we should limit the speed limit for motorcycles at 30 kilometers. What is your
Palagay
position
ko,
on that?
Pag nasa highway ka, hindi mo na ano yan eh. Siguro, pagka nandun ka sa loob ng barangay mo,
So definitely may-
na pagka halimbawa maraming tao dyan, teka muna.
dapat.
Kailangan ang barangay government mag-ano din sila. Dahil maraming bata ang nadidisgrasya dito, yung nasasagasa.
So you think, ano
So
yung
I think,
speed limit? Ano yung speed
sa
limit
loob na yun,
ano?
sa loob na ng within the barangay kasi may power naman ng barangay council para gumawa ng mga ordinansa na magkaroon sila ng ano din sa
Robert, your thoughts?
Again, that's existing law. Marami tayong speed limits sa different areas of ng bayan natin, different types of road. Existing law na yan. Pero to limit it at a motorcycle level only, that's discrimination.
Okay.
Kung ililimit mo ang isang uri ng sasakyan, ilimit mo sa lahat.
Alright.
All throughout, dapat across the board, dapat pantay-pantayan. Now, for a highway, tapos ililimit mo yung speed ng isang uri ng sasakyan, tapos the rest just, does what they do, that's dangerous for that particular
alright.
vehicle.
Alright.
So, again, it's all in the existing laws.
All right, now, with regard to helmets, no, there is a proposal that it has to be a certain grade or a certain quality. Are there existing laws now? Do you think the existing laws now, Jobert, that are
the Helmet Act talks about that.
Yeah.
The ICC,
Requirement,
talks about that. Pero the ICC law that provision of the ICC overstepped its boundary. Kasi the ICC is supposed to protect the end user. It's not brought out to be that way. Ang nangyayari, naging dahilan ng ICC para i-tax or i-fine yung end user, not to protect the end user. Kasi dapat yan dun sa nagbebenta. Okay? But after I purchase my helmet, okay, when you purchase your helmet, kasi yung sticker ang nagsasabi sa'yo na this passes Philippine standard. But after I purchase the helmet, I have the right to do whatever I want with the helmet.
Yeah.
I can take away the ICC sticker kung kinakailangan. Because in some warranty clauses, sinasabi doon na stickers actually play a detrimental role to the helmet because of the chemicals involved. Now, as a distributor naman, there are certain ways of using the ICC to sell helmets na hindi naman talaga pasado. Because if I am selling 10,000 helmets or have a stock of 10,000 helmets, I won't bring the 10,000 helmets to DTI to have it checked one by one.
Isa lang, dalawa.
Magre-report lang ako, I have 10,000 helmets, I need 10,000 stickers. The question is, are they checking kung lahat ba ng stickers na yun na ilalagay sa tamang helmet?
Right, okay. All right, you have a good point. Now, all right, we need to take a short break. Jobert Martin, more on the issue of stricter motorcycle policies when we come back. You're watching Opposing Views. Please stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Opposing Views on the Solar News Channel. Our guest, Martin Dino, chairman of the VACC, or Volunteers Against Crime and Corruption, and the chairman of a motorcycle rights organization, Jobert Bolaños. And our question for tonight, should the government implement stricter motorcycle policies in the Philippines? Now, Martin, you were mentioning earlier, mainit ang panahon ngayon. Times are different. Do you think the motorists in general are worse? Or ano ba yung... Why do you think that they're now resorting to itong tandem motorcycle, I guess, fueled crime? No?
Kamukha nga ng no? Unang-una, ang failure ng government, most especially, sabihin na natin sa LTO, na dapat meron silang mga flying squad na mag-check nitong mga, sabi nga, rehistro o RCR, yung plate number. Pero ang problema, sa kanila, nakabayad ka na, wala ka pang plate number, wala ka pang sticker. Tapos, ang breakdown ng ating kapulisan na everyday, merong mamamatay. Yan na yung ating parang mindsetting na talagang may mamamatay this day, may mamamatay na naman bukas ng umaga. Ngayon, kung halimbawa nakikita natin na may kakulangan ng ating kapulisan, tayong mga mamamayan, kailangan kumilos na tayo. Mag-isip tayo kung ano ba ang pwede nating mai-support, no? Kamukha niyan. Isa na nga itong naging proposal ni Ronnie Ludovica, ni Konsehal, na ito yung kanya, actually ito, proposed ordinance to ng 2012. Proposed ordinance 2012-53, no? Na tignan natin kasi hindi na katuwa-tuwa kung merong mamamatay araw-araw eh. Ngayon, ang mga mamamayan ngayon, palagay ko, kamukha, no? Kung wala kang pulis, kung wala kang pagka ngayon nagdadrive ka at wala kang, hindi ka naka-best na at least meron ka ng ginagawa, no?
May more tangible na, no?
Yes, may tangible, tsaka deterrent na to. Talagang mag-iisip ka ng 2 beses ngayon bago ka gumawa ng kasamaan. Kasi hindi lang naman to riding in tandem. Unang-una, sabi ko nga, ang purpose nito ay para din sa safety ng mga magsusuot nito dahil reflectorized. Pangalawa, pati yung mga inaagawan ng bag, yung mga krimen na nangyayari sa karsada. Kaya ito siguro dagdag at hinihingi ko naman na konting-konting sakripisyo lang para sa buhay ng tao.
So, taking off from what Martin was saying, do you think that now, to a certain extent, motorcycles are being used similar to a gun, it's like a weapon now, or at least parang a means to a crime. And because of that, because of what's happening, do you think that it's justifiable to at least provide more restrictions to motorcycle ownership? Particularly motorcycle ownership kasi doon dumadami. Doon dumadami yung crime.
I'll go with this. Ang kasalanan ni Pedro, hindi kasalanan ni Juan. Ang nangyayari kasi, we're pushing the
No, but we're not punishing Juan. We're just we're providing more restrictions for
what's
Juan
happening is
to
Juan is carrying the burden of what Pedro is doing. But are we exhausting all efforts dun pa lang sa enforcement ng mga batas? There are so many things that we can do to support the police. Okay, community crime watch programs, fighting fire with fire, arming the policemen with motorcycles as well, so that they can do
chase
patrols.
them.
But the point here is, we haven't pushed them yet to that level, pero we're already passing everything to the end user. Di ba? Dapat, let's start from root cause and move ourselves up. We haven't exhausted all efforts yet. Okay? I haven't seen more policemen. Nakakakita lang ako ng maraming checkpoints, policemen, visibility, kapag may events. If they can do that during events, why can they do it on a regular and normal day?
Alam mo, Rod, yun na nga ang piniprevent namin eh. Ang BACC kasi, kamukha niyan, lumalapit sa amin yung mga pamilya ng namatayan. Alam nyo kung ano ang ano ng BACC.
At that point,
ang sinasabi ko nga sa iyo, kamukha nun, hindi kasalanan ni Pedro, wag mong ipasa kay Juan. Pero pagka namatay si Juan, at saka si Pedro, lalapit na naman sa atin dahil magiging... hindi ba pwedeng magbigay ka kay Pedro na namatayan para konting ano mo para mabuhay itong si Pedro? Tapos ngayon sasabihin mo agad na yung ano, di ba?
We're also part of the public. Victims din kami. Motorcycle riders are also victims.
You feel you're being unduly punished or burdened?
We're being
singled out as
profiled.
profile.
Okay? It's undue profiling.
So you feel that you're parang in a way you're being viewed as, well, not really criminals, but at least suspects.
What happened to the point of innocent until proven guilty? Okay,
now
they're branding us just because we're using motorcycles. They're branding us with the vest. To us, it's branding. To us, it's I don't want to use the D word, but it's discrimination because kami lang ang ginagawa. What if we say this? Okay. We're being branded because criminals use motorcycles as their weapon of choice. Whenever there's a crime and a policeman is involved, does that give us the right to say na lahat ng policemen criminal?
Okay.
It's generalizing.
Ang natin nga dito, inuulit-ulit ko eh. Konting sakripisyo lang. Ano ba naman yung buhay mo? Kung ikaw, buhay mo, hindi mo pwedeng proteksyonan ka namin sa konting sakripisyo.
If we continue
ngayon,
to do this
kung halimbawa, kamukha niya, nakita mo yung mga bus, bakit nilagyan ng malalaking numero? Di ba? Para ma-identify mo itong mga tarantadong bus driver sa lansangan, di ba? Yun ang purpose.
If we continue to do the sacrifice, we enable the policemen to maintain that level of effectivity.
Alam mo, yun na nga, sabi nga natin, yung policeman nga na tinuturo mo palagi, talagang tayong dalawa, aminado na tayo di ba?
I'll have to manage the discussion. Okay, let's go to, because you mentioned it, no? You mentioned it also about the burden going to you, and I guess let's define that burden as cost naman, not so much the hassle but the cost. Kasi obviously you'll be requiring vests that will be either purchased by the government and it's a required part of registering. If you're selling motorcycles, it's an included part of the cost. No, and therefore you pass it on to the I guess the one who will purchase the motorcycles. So let's go to the cost. Now, would it be too costly, Martin, to what you're proposing to implement these vests? No, I mean we have 3.2 million motorcycle riders. These 3.2 million vests, not including the passengers pa, no, yung mga nag-aangkas. So that's going to be a lot of implementation, a lot of purchasing. It could involve tax money to implement this. Anong may sasagot mo dyan? Where will this fund be coming from?
Alam mo, pagdating dun sa cost, dun sa pondo, pagtapatin na lang natin ng konti. Yung gagastusin mo na ganito kalaki, katapat sa buhay ng tao na pagka namatay, hindi mo na maibabalik.
Okay.
Di ba? Na pwede na pala natin i-prevent kung konting sakripisyo, no, ang buhay ng tao ay walang katapat na halaga.
Okay, Jobert,
So we have to carry the
rejoinder?
cost of that life of a person. Now, we sympathize with the life. Kasi again, we're part of the public. We're forgetting that part. Parte kami ng publiko. Okay? If one falls victim, the entire public falls victim. Now, if we are to carry that cost because of a death of a person, tapos hindi man lang natin pinupush yung people who's supposed to be responsible for acting, preventing, we're not even pushing them to the limit of their capabilities. We're not giving them
maximize, so to speak.
We're becoming enablers to their
complacency.
We're becoming enablers.
All right, so okay, Jobert, good point. Martin, I
Good
need
point,
to...
good point. Pero tignan kami sa BACC, tignan nyo ang ating pronouncement, tignan nyo kung gaano kabugbog na itong kapulisan natin. Sa araw-araw na ginawa ng panahon na wala silang nagagawa sa riding in tandem. During the time ni Jesse Robledo, buhay pa siya, nagbigay na siya ng directive kay Bartolome. Then, siya ang PNP chief. Bantayan nyo, ayusin nyo itong riding in tandem. During the time of Jesse Robledo pa to, meron siyang directive na ibinigay. Kaya nga nakikita natin ang pagkukulang ng kapulisan. Ito nga, kami to the point na ang BACC, pinupukpok namin ng DILG at saka ang PNP na itap nyo ang barangay. Alam nila kung sino ang mga kriminal. Ibigay nung kapitan yung pangalan ng mga kriminal sa mga station commander. Ako, nung kapitan ako, alam ko kung sino nga magnanakaw ng motor sa barangay ko. Pag nagnakaw ng motor yan, sasabihin agad sa akin, Kap, may ninakaw ng motor. Oh, ba't ako iintay ng ano? Huhulihin ko agad siya, dadalhin ko ang pulis, dapat ganun maging kabigilante tayo.
Thank you. That was a fantastic point, but we need to take a short break. Don't go away. When we come back, the result of our online poll on the issue and the final words of our guests. Please stay with us. This is Opposing Views. Welcome back. This is Opposing Views. I'm Rod Nepomuceno, and our guests for tonight, Martin Dino and Jobert Bolaños. And our debate for tonight, just in case you just tuned in, should the government implement stricter motorcycle policies in the Philippines? Now, Jobert, you're making a point about being profiled to some extent. In a way, motorcyclists are being prejudged. No? In a way, parang you're a suspect. And I like to, in a way, there's similarities. No? There are parallelisms to the gun law. No? Because basically, a lot of gun owners, they're saying we're now being profiled just because you own a gun doesn't mean you're a criminal. In fact, you have the right to defend yourself. In your case, you have the right to ride.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right for transportation. But do you think, though, and taking off from Martin's point, is that because of it seems that that's becoming the trend, and it's happening every day now. Before, it wasn't happening like that. I guess criminals have now discovered, wait, mas madaling mag-getaway pag may motor tayo, mag-tandem tayo, mas mabilis umalis in a crime scene. They're beginning to recognize that, and with the traffic in Metro Manila, I guess I'm playing devil's advocate, with the traffic of Metro Manila, don't you think that, perhaps that we should, apart from the stricter implementation, I think we all agree, kailangan ng stricter implementation, but do you think that we should augment that?
Going back,
Given that the trend, no?
Yeah.
The trend that's happening.
With the trend, okay, we're on the same page on that level, okay? Lumalala na lumalala ang problema. But we haven't even started exhausting all efforts from the existing laws na meron na tayo.
What specific laws you think we should implement?
Number one na dyan, yung
more strict?
registration.
Registration.
Okay.
Ano yung mga tingin mo na
Ang
we're not
daming loose
implementing?
vehicles Just like firearms. Ang daming loose firearms. Ano ba ginagamit na baril ng mga kriminal? Loose firearms. There's a problem on loose firearms. There's also a problem on loose vehicles na hindi naman rehistrado. That's why malakas ang loob nila is because marami silang magagamit na
vehicles
na motorsiklo, particularly. So, we haven't even gone to that extent na we take control of that issue.
Do you know, out of the 3.2 million motorcycles, do you know how many are loose na hindi registered?
The manufacturers have reported a sale of about 8 million motorcycles.
8 million. Okay.
8 million.
Alright.
And currently, we are at around 4 million registered. So there's another 4 million na nakakalat na hindi rehistrado.
So, Martin, do you think that that's the answer? Maybe stricter registration
Yun na
rules
nga
na?
ito, makakadagdag ito ngayon. Halimbawa, kamukha ngayon, larga, wala kang nakikita yung ano. Ngayon, meron nakikita. Kasi ang liit ng number na yan eh. No? Itong implementasyon na to, kaya nga, agree tayo na may pagkukulang na nga ang gobyerno eh. Agree tayo na may pagkakulang ng kapulisan natin. So, ang gawin natin ngayon, magtulong-tulong tayo, no, na yung riding public natin ng mga nagmumotor, sa totoo lang sa ngayon, mas marami sila na tumutulong sa peace and order. Ako, ma-identify ko yung, yung hotline na lahat yan, nakamotor yan. Sila bumibili ng gasolina, hindi nagpo-provide ng gobyerno, pero tumutulong sila sa peace and order.
Kailangan ba ng additional burden as point nga ni Martin?
Yun na nga
Or stricter na lang? Maybe stricter, wag na vest, basta mas stricto lang yung registration.
Hindi, kasi ang ano natin nga, kaya natin ito inirekomenda ang plaka vest kasi nakikita mo agad sa mata mo eh. Meron ka immediate Hindi yung kamukha nun, tamang duda ka na naku, baka mamaya may baril to. Hindi mo kasi sabay-sabay sila
lumalabas ng should we not put that in the cars na bigger number sa cars as well?
Yeah, pwede rin. 'Di ba? Kamukha niya ginawa sa bus pero ang plate number nakikita na yan.
Marami kang kalaban ngayon.
Ito ngayon ang ano natin, sabi ko nga
kasi taxi, 'di ba?
Panahon. Tandaan niyo 'yung sinabi ko, panahon. Kung halimbawa humupa na yan, di balik tayo dun sa forma, di naka-leather jacket tayo, ratratan tayo sa karsada. Pero hinihingi lang ng pagkakataon ngayon. Tung panahon na to, baka pwedeng magsakripisyo tayo para mabawasan itong mga gumagala sa karsada na merong planong pananakit sa ating mga mamamayan. Na ito ay isang maliit na
additional
na pwede natin maging
apart from
deterrent.
stricter implementation of the rules, additional. You think,
tsaka dito, mahihiya ng kapulisan natin dahil ngayon, tignan mo sa Facebook, tignan mo, kundi puro motorsiklo ng pulis na nasa karsada na yung isa dilapidated ang plate number, tapos isa walang plate number. Kahapon, meron ako nakasabay na naka-SWAT na dibarel, tapos wala siyang plate number. Ito kinukuha na ngayon ng litrato.
Jobert, do you think though the point of Martin makes it more difficult, at least it's a step further, it makes it more difficult for a criminal to consider using a motorcycle and therefore maybe reconsider committing the crime altogether? Or do you think that it doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter. It's not going to be effective against the criminal because, again, babalik ako doon sa sinabi ko kanina, criminals will not use their own property or anything that will identify who they really are.
Do you have stats? Is that a statistic you got in the police? Most criminals who use motorcycles, they normally don't use their registered vehicles. It's almost a given.
Ako, I'm an ordinary citizen. Okay, if I were to do something bad, why would I leave a trail? So it's common sense. So why would I leave a trail leading to me if I were to do something bad?
So more often than not, they're stolen or loose motorcycles that are
it's
being
still police visibility. More police on the roads, more checkpoints. The more we see them on the road, the more we check on the vehicles na dumadaan sa kalsada, the more we see them at night.
But some would argue though na parang minsan nga there are too many, like for example, I live in Makati, there's so much MMDA and people sometimes they're trying to catch yung mga smoke belching. Ang dami nila, 10 sila, and they're trying to avoid them like that when you're driving. Minsan, my feeling nga, parang sobrang dami. Na minsan walang ginagawa, nandun lang sa ilalim ng shade.
At saka ito, pagkabaril sa'yo, magpapalit lang ng t-shirt to eh. Di subukan magpalit ng vest.
It's the same thing.
Same thing, ang dami mong baon na vest.
Ang dali lang hindi. No need to change the vest.
Alam mo,
Velcro.
Ang CCTV camera, ito nga yung isang ano natin eh. Bakit hindi natin subukan, di ba? Ano ba mawawala sa atin nun? Kumbaga sa konti subok lang. Baka mamaya subukan natin na isa.
Actually, that's the other thing I was thinking maybe more CCTV cameras. But unfortunately, we're reaching the tail end of the show. No? So I'd like to ask Martin and Jobert, just final parting words. Martin, ano yung last few words mo for the televiewers?
Hinihingi ko lang dun sa mga motorista natin, alam mo, maraming grupo dyan na talagang tumutulong sa peace and order natin. Ultimo buhay nila nakataya dyan. Isa na dyan yung Eagle, yung police hotline, tapos yung mga grupo kasama namin sa mata ng karsada, no? Na kung saan yung grupo ni Atoy na Cruz na napakalaki nito, na konting sakripisyo lang. Baka pwedeng, ano muna, no? Yung mga magagandang jacket natin, pwede naman sigurong lagyan natin ng, ng numero. Subukan lang natin. Tapos yung mga mamamayan naman natin na hindi pa nakasubok na mag-jacket, tapos meron naman silang best ngayon na reflectorize na makikita, lalo-lalo na sa gabi, mapuproteksyonan po kayo.
Okay.
Ang pinoproteksyonan lang po natin, buhay ng tao. Huwag natin yung halaga ng best sa halaga ng buhay ng tao. Konting sakripisyo po.
Thank you, Chairman Martin Dino. And Robert, your parting words?
Well, again, let's not pass the burden to the end user, because the end user, we're also victims. Okay, we're part of the public. Now, if we continue to be enablers of this process na gawa tayo ng gawa ng bagong batas, pero hindi natin pinapatupad ng tama yung existing na batas, how can we expect it to be effective against these criminals or these crimes or these problems kung hindi naman natin pag-iigtingin kung ano yung nandyan na eh?
If there are more laws to be implemented.
We haven't even exhausted all efforts.
Okay.
And we're already pushing towards the end user. So, the end user feels na kami ang sumasalo ng problema na hindi naman binibigay yung 100% effort na dapat ibigay.
All right. Point taken, and point taken, Martin. Thank you very much to our guests. Martin Dino, Chairman of the VACC, or Volunteers Against Crime and Corruption, and Jobert Bolaños, Chairman of the Motorcycle Rights Organization. Now let's see the result of our online poll. Our question: should the government implement stricter motorcycle policies in the Philippines? The answer of yes is 65%, and for those who answered no, 35%. And that's our opposing views for tonight. Tune in again next week for another bold and engaging discussion on the most relevant issues of today. I'm Rodney Pumuseno. Good night and God bless.